Welcome to the Midnight Library. I see you found your way here, despite the hour. Tell me, what time is it where you are? And where are you listening from?
My name is Lynn. I'm 28 years old and I live in China. If you know anything about Chinese culture, you'll know about the 7th month of the lunar calendar. People call it Ghost Month or the Hungry Ghost Festival. It's the time when the gates of the underworld are believed to open and restless spirits wander among the living. Most people avoid going out late at night during that month. But me? I didn't really have a choice. My father and I run a small noodle shop. It isn't big or fancy, but it keeps us alive. That night, it was raining harder than I'd seen in months. The streets were nearly empty. I was nodding off at the counter, fighting sleep. At that hour, past 9 o'clock, I didn't think anyone else would come. Who'd want to step out in a storm like this? But just as I was about to doze off, I suddenly saw her. A little girl. She was standing there, soaked through, water dripping from her long black hair. I didn't hear the door open. Maybe I had drifted off for a moment. I glanced at the clock. It was 9:19 p.m. Maybe one last customer before we close. I stood up quickly, glancing behind her. No one else was there. I thought surely her parents would follow, but she was completely alone. She just sat down quietly, staring at me with blank eyes. "Sweetie, where are your parents?" I asked, glancing behind her once again. The street was empty. No one was there. She didn't answer. She just slowly shook her head. Before I could press further, my dad appeared from the kitchen, holding a steaming bowl of noodle soup. He placed it in front of her without hesitation. "She's probably lost," he said quietly to me. "Don't scare her with too many questions. Let her eat first." I remember frowning. Who's going to pay for this food? But I didn't argue. Maybe she was indeed lost. Maybe she was scared. The girl dug into the noodles immediately. She ate so quickly it was unsettling, chopsticks clattering against the bowl. Not a single word escaped her lips, not even a sigh from the steam. Maybe she was really hungry, I thought. But something about her unsettled me. When she finished, I told her gently, "Come with me. I'll take you to the police station. They'll help find your parents." At first, she hesitated, but then, without speaking, she nodded. I untied my apron, slipped into a raincoat, and grabbed an umbrella. I reached out to take her hand so we could walk together and share an umbrella, but she immediately pulled away. I rolled my eyes and grabbed another umbrella for her instead. I gestured for her to walk in front of me so I could keep an eye on her. The police station was about 15 minutes away. The streets were deserted except for the glow of street lamps reflecting off puddles. And as we were walking, I noticed something strange in the way she walked. I couldn't explain it, but it didn't feel natural. But still, I followed. She stayed a few steps ahead of me the whole time. And though I tried to keep calm, I realized something that made my skin crawl. Her red shoes. They never splashed in the water. Not once. I swallowed hard and forced myself to look away. Maybe I was imagining it. Halfway there, we passed a crowd gathered in the middle of the road. People were whispering, umbrellas clustered together. I thought it must have been an accident, but I didn't stop to look. The girl was walking faster, and I couldn't let her slip away. By the time we reached the corner, just 1 block from the police station, she turned suddenly down a narrow side street. I followed immediately, but when I turned into the alley, she was gone. vanished. Completely, no sound, no shadow, no trace. My heart pounded as I searched frantically, calling out for her, but the rain drowned my voice. I felt dizzy, disoriented, as if the storm itself was swallowing me. Finally, I stumbled into the police station and described her to the officers. A thin girl, maybe 7 or 8 years old, long black hair, cream-colored dress. They exchanged a look I didn't understand. "Did she wear red shoes?" one of them asked. I froze. "Yes," I whispered. "You've seen her?" Relief flooded me for a moment. Maybe her parents had brought her here already. But the officer's face didn't soften. Instead, he quietly pulled a photo from a drawer and slid it across the desk. "Is this the girl you mean?" I stared at the photo. It was her. The same eyes. The same cream dress. "Yes!" I almost shouted. "That's her! Where is she now? Did her parents come?" The officers were silent for a moment. Then one finally said, "There was an accident. It happened just a few minutes ago," he said slowly. His voice was low, careful, as if he didn't want to say the words. "A father and a daughter were hit by a car, just a few streets away. The father survived, but the girl..." He paused. The silence that followed was suffocating. Then he pointed at the photo. The girl died instantly. The photo slipped from my fingers. My knees felt weak. My chest tightened as if the air itself was refusing to fill my lungs. I wanted to argue, to scream that it wasn't possible, but deep down, I already knew. My legs felt heavy as I thanked the officers and stumbled back out into the storm. When I finally returned to the shop, I felt hollow. My father was standing at the doorway watching me carefully. But then my eyes fell on something that made my blood run cold. The umbrella I had given her, it was back, standing neatly by the wall where it had always been. My mouth went dry. My heart thundered in my chest. "Dad," I stammered. Did you put this here?" He frowned. "What do you mean? Didn't you only take one umbrella?" My legs nearly gave out. I grabbed the counter for support, my entire body trembling. And then the words spilled out. The walk, the alley, the police station, the photo. When I finished, my father's face was grim. He let out a long, weary sigh and finally said, "I knew it from the start. The way she came in, silent, expressionless. That wasn't a lost child, Lynn. That was a lost soul. And tonight, she just wanted one last bowl of noodles."
Another chapter closed. Leave the candle lit in the comments and tell us what part of the story stayed with you.